Fallout 4 modders have been up to some crazy stuff over on the Nexus. There's been so many good mods coming out lately. It is absolutely amazing. What a time to be playing Fallout 4. Today we're going to be checking out some of those new releases, some of which are absolutely amazing. Really just jaw-dropping. Some of the quality on these mods is insane. Let's go ahead and get started with a new armor and weapon pack known as the Plaguebearer. This features a unique lever-action rifle and a new mask and helmet for you to wear with your character. The star of the show in this mod is going to be the Plaguebringer, a brand new lever-action shotgun with fancy new textures, reuses some vanilla models to make a brand new gun. So this is going to make use of mostly vanilla models from the lever-action rifle, but also some modded ones, as I do actually see some of my own models making their way into here since they were open for people to use. And now there is also some extra gubbins added on to make this thing into a radioactive rifle. It has a bunch of really cool techno gubbins, including different vials and attachments, and also some kind of gross wrapping around it that makes it look a little old, a little worn, which matches the new textures, as the receiver of this thing is fully rusted out, and the wood is also very much in shambles. Seemingly, since this weapon does use the vanilla attachments from the lever action, you can actually pair this with modded attachment mods like the attachment pack, which I think is actually where I'm seeing my assets coming in. You can pair this with my stuff, though it's not going to match perfectly because now the textures are very different. This weapon is going to have some innate acid damage that's going to eat through enemies, and that is going to be the legendary effect on this weapon, on top of the really cool, unique look. Essentially, this is going to be a new unique weapon mod, something akin to the old Fallouts that actually had truly unique weapons as opposed to just legendary variants, since this thing is going to have its own cool, unique look, much like some of the weapons that you see on the Nexus. And if you like the aesthetic of the weapon, there's also an armor piece that comes with it, which is going to be the Plaguebearer's hat, which is going to be sort of a Plague Doctor's mask wrapped up completely in a nice sort of shawl, and also a hat on top, much like the old school Plague Doctors. Something I really like about this set of armor and this weapon is that it really adds the potential for some role-playing characters. If you have a character that this might fit on, now you have a really specific piece of armor and weapon to go find that is going to fit your character very nicely, which is always cool. This is a role-playing game after all. Having a character with a really interesting backstory and a really cool aesthetic is definitely something that is going to happen here. And so having a mod that really helps that get along, if maybe you didn't have the opportunity to make this kind of character before, this mod's going to let you do that. Now, the mask and the weapon are both one of a kind, so if you want to get your hands on these, you're going to have to go out and find them. And of course, this thing is going to be found over in Far Harbor, deep in the fog. Specifically though, spoiler warning, if you do want to find this weapon and this armor set, you're going to go directly to the ruins of the Rock Point camp. And these items will be on a corpse over on a couch, just waiting for somebody to grab them. Additionally, while this weapon does use mostly vanilla attachments, it also has some additional attachment slots that the original didn't have, including a couple of heavier bayonets from Nuka World. Additionally, there's also a suppressor bayonet combo, which is something you don't typically see, as those are both muzzle devices, so that's something that you can put on so that you can have a suppressed gun with a bayonet as well. Overall, a really cool set of armor and weapons, definitely lore-friendly, fits really nice in Far Harbor. There's even a little bit of backstory on the mod page if that helps to sell this armor set and weapon for you. But now we're going to be moving on to something a bit different, a brand new weapon release known as the Vanilla Weapon Redone Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum Revolver by OhDeer. A mod I have been seeing the development of over and over again. Pictures of the thing have been coming out, and it's finally released a really wonderful new revolver. And this one is going to be interesting because it's not a standalone, it's actually going to be a replacer to the Vanilla 44. I think this mod's quite interesting for a handful of reasons, but for starters, as a replacer, this thing is fantastic. It is amazingly modeled and textured. It looks super high quality. I can't believe some of the details on this weapon. It looks wonderful, and it comes with its own custom animations, so even though it's replacing the original, it's even going to have custom animations, which is a really nice plus. Now, overall, this thing has a pretty traditional revolver style, but there are definitely some attachments that make it lean a little bit more into the modern and tactical side because it is based on real-life parts. Now, because of that, I think that this mod makes a perfect replacer if you're running a more modern and tactical load order. You can get rid of the old revolver and replace it with this one, which is much higher quality and leans into the aesthetic of your game a bit more. That being said, there are still some really cool retro attachments, so if you're into that more, you can still use it in that way and still have a really high quality revolver. Now, there's nothing to talk about in terms of leveled list, since again, this is a replacer. It's just going to replace the 44 anywhere it might spawn with this wonderful new model. It comes with a bunch of attachments over at the weapons workbench as well, even more than the original had in the first place. Definitely one of the stars of this mod is going to be those custom animations, though. They are absolutely wonderful. They make this weapon feel super beefy, and the reload is very, very satisfying. This truly is some AAA quality work, some awesome, awesome models and textures, beautiful animations, and the attachment set that comes with it makes it really nice as well. Again, leaning a bit more into that modern and tactical style, especially in terms of the optics that are available, but it's still a wonderful, high-quality mod. Sort of like the Desert Eagle we talked about recently, this thing is really, really well done. One other thing to get you excited with this mod is that it is marked with the tag VWR, meaning Vanilla Weapons Redone. Something we have only ever seen on one other mod by OhDeer, which had retextured all of the vanilla weapons. This one completely replaced it, which begs the question if we will see anything else like this in the future. Maybe some other mods will get completely reworked. Other vanilla weapons completely replaced. Who knows? Don't know if that's actually on the docket or not, but it is something to be excited about, just in case it might be. Now then, if you're looking for a new armor to go along with this weapon, there's actually a brand new set that just came out that I think fits perfectly, and that's going to be the Modern Warfare Range Watcher armor by HeroicPie. This is going to be a more modern approach while still having a nice Western feel that is going to go perfectly with the pretty modern Revolver we just covered. Again, this is going to be from one of the Modern Warfare games, ported wonderfully. Everything looks right in this mod, which is actually excellent. A lot of times when you see ported armors, they don't have everything just right, but this one does it perfectly. And in my opinion, it fits the aesthetic of the Revolver like to a T. This thing has a nice Western look. It looks very, very cool, but also has some modern elements, including a ballistic vest that says Sheriff on it, but still has sort of the cowboy aesthetic, but with more modern clothes. It's definitely a very unique look, but one that I think could fit in many people's load order, especially if you're running a lot of tactical and modern stuff. This is something that can be added in to add a bit of flair and a bit of a different feel to the game, while still maintaining a general aesthetic that fits very well. That's why it's featured in Call of Duty. It fits right alongside the other armors while still allowing you to roleplay as a bit of a cowboy. Now, beyond that, it's a pretty simple mod. It can be crafted over at the chemistry station. It is available for both male and female, and it comes with a hat and glasses that you can wear with the outfit on top of that. It has some really, really cool aesthetics, including built-in revolvers and a lever action that is attached to your hip, and they are all rigged correctly so they don't bend and warp. They're actually nice and stiff, and they look like they should, so that's really, really nice. It may seem like a very simple mod, but honestly, it's rigged so well that it's something that I really want to credit. That's a pretty hard thing to do. Rigging in this game is not the easiest. I've made a couple of armors, and even mine aren't perfect. In fact, I'd say they're pretty far from that, but this mod does very, very well. Not to mention, it brings a totally unique aesthetic that I've never really seen in Fallout before, so this is a pretty cool one that I think is worth checking out if you're looking for something a bit different. Now, to keep on with that Modern Warfare theme, we actually have a new mod known as the Modern Warfare 3 ACR platform by OzzyTheRaven. This is going to add the ACR, the very, very popular rifle that has popped up in quite a few video games, into Fallout 4. And I don't think we have a comprehensive ACR mod yet besides this one, so this is going to be a very, very nice one to add to your game, especially if you're in that modern and tactical style. This is going to add a new weapon that you may not have one of already. While M4s and ARs are very easy to come by, this one might not be, so this is one that you might want to check out. In this mod, you're going to get the Bushmaster ACR in 5.56, a version in 300 Blackout, a 450 Bushmaster, and a 6.8. All of these are going to have their own really cool attachments, and also a ton of customization over at the weapons workbench, including the way the weapon looks. It can be really bright tan like the old school ACRs, but you can also have it in black and other colors as well. And there's even some unique skins that you can find in this mod on top of that. Because this is a COD port, that means of course that it has custom animations different from anything in vanilla. And what's really cool about this particular weapon is that it's actually added to the leveled list. That's right, a COD port with leveled list integration. If you want to get your hands on the typical MCW, you can find this thing on level 15 Raiders, Gunners, and purchase it from vendors. The Sidewinder can be found at level 25 on Raiders and Gunners, and you can purchase it from vendors. And the MCW 6.8 can be found at level 20 on Gunners and vendors. No Raiders for that one. While tactical mods aren't typically my thing, if I was going to run them, I'd very much enjoy having them integrated onto the leveled list, and this mod actually does that, which is really, really nice to see. You never really see that with the more modern stuff, especially COD ports, but having it here is really nice. On top of the leveled list integration, you can also craft it at the chemistry station if you want to get one immediately, but personally, I would like to go and find one of these on an enemy and actually make that a really, really fun collectible to go out and get. Everything else in this mod is pretty high quality. It is a COD port, so you know you're going to get AAA quality from the models, textures, and animations. And so having good integration with a ton of attachments and leveled lists is going to put this thing really, really high on the list of COD ports for me. Honestly, having those features really makes this feel like a complete package, like any other weapon mod you might find on the Nexus. So props to Ozzy for actually adding that level-less integration. That is very, very nice. And since I gave an outfit mod for the Revolver, I might as well give one for the ACR as well. We'll be checking out the Modern Warfare Remastered Gaz outfit by section. This is going to be a new, pretty tactical armor set, but honestly, not over the top. I feel like this fits a little bit in the retro tactical, as this is going to be from the original Modern Warfare, so it's a little bit older of a style than some of the newer stuff we've been seeing. Something a little bit more contemporary for sure. The outfit will consist of some camo pants, some knee pads, some pretty thick boots, a black sweater, and a tactical vest with a lot of ammo pouches. You'll also have some other essentials like a couple of grenade pouches, a water pack, and some flares. Altogether, a pretty simple outfit that I think doesn't fit too bad in Fallout. I think it fits very well in a modern tactical load order, and I could even see some people justifying this for something a bit more retro. I think it kind of rides the line between both styles, which is something I really like. Honestly, the only weird thing about this armor for me is that it does have a big British flag on it. And that's because, of course, this is going to come from Task Force 141, so it's going to have a British flag on it because it's directly ported from Call of Duty. The only reason that's weird is because this is going to be put into Fallout 4, so there's not really a reason that that armor would be around. But maybe you could use this in Fallout London. Maybe then it works perfectly. Otherwise, who knows, maybe if you have a little bit of outfit studio skills, you could try to find a way to remove it or adjust that if you want to make it a little bit more lore-friendly to your game. But chances are, if you're using this mod, you're probably not too concerned about lore friendly anyways. It's a pretty dang good armor set regardless. And what's really cool is this has a pretty good set of vibrant colors, but one of the colors that pops really well is the bright tan that I think fits perfectly with the ACR we just covered. So if you're looking for a nice armor that goes with that, I think that's a good fit. And I mean, they're both for Modern Warfare, so it's probably a good fit regardless. If you want to get your hands on this armor, since it is a port, and as is the case with most armor mods, you're going to be able to craft this thing over at the chemistry station. It does not have any level-less integration, sadly. That being said, though, it is also upgradable over at the armor workbench, so you can actually put some upgrades on this, which is nice. Not every armor mod has that, so that definitely is a plus that is very nice to see. A pretty simple armor mod, but a pretty good one nonetheless, and it fits well with some of the stuff we've talked about already. Hopefully, this video gives you some new mods to look forward to and add to your load order, and hopefully a couple more than just one, because there are some nice armor and weapon sets that I think could go together really, really nicely. Matter of fact, I think these were all armor and weapon sets since the first mod kind of had that built into it. Regardless, if you want to check out any of these mods, they will all be linked down in the description. I really recommend checking out that Revolver replacer. It is very, very high quality. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, consider dropping a like. It really helps out the channel. And while you're down there, consider checking me out on Patreon. If you'd like to support my work directly, whether it's the videos I make here on YouTube or the mods I make on the Nexus, that is the best way to support me directly. But it is, of course, completely optional. Don't feel like you need to do that. It's just there if you'd like to. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed once again, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!